Good day, everyone. My name is Helenique Argeru, and you are joining me on the Women of Truth platform, where we interview some incredible women from around the world on personal truth, their womanly wisdom. And really today we have a special guest called Dr. Marina Bruni, JD. She's actually a global brain activation strategist. And I really love the idea of interviewing her because she's been instrumental in shaping what is becoming and fast becoming the new style of thinking around the brain and how we integrate right and left hemispheres. We really are looking today at strategies that we can be using to actually work more holistically in our brains. Now, Dr. Marina is actually a mentor, a lawyer, a business consultant, and an international speaker who specializes in this brain integration I was talking about. She gives her clients actually the keys to unlock all kinds of creative solutions to the problems that they've been facing. And she's been featured in the Global Thought Leaders in the movie How Thoughts Become Things. And this is now the sequel to the hit movie The Secret, alongside with part of the original cast. Well known for helping businesses identify their specific additional revenue streams, her whole way of working is, as you can see, very much connected to the brain. Now, I'm fascinated to know that she's also a lawyer. Let's meet her and find out more about what she does day to day. Welcome, Dr. Marina Bruni. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you, Helenique. I'm very delighted to be here with you. Thank you for having me.
So you're actually a neuro-linguist and energy worker, and I noticed you also speak 4 languages, not 1, 2, or 3, but 4. You love dark chocolate and traveling the globe, just like me. I love dark chocolate and traveling the globe. So tell us a little bit about how law ended up going to brain activation.
Yeah, that's an amazing question. Well, as a lawyer use very much their brain because, I mean, they have to, otherwise there's no way that they can support and do the kind of work that they do. Right. So in a way, I've always been very brainy, and I was brought up also in that kind of environment because I come from a family with a very much an academic background. My father used to be a lawyer, and so in his family, so it's a type of family tradition. But I have to say, however, it's a different way of using your brain because being a lawyer coming from an academic background is very much about being analytical, about being logical, about making sense of things. So it's very much about developing your left brain, your rationality, your linear logic. I was very comfortable with that. I mean, I've always done that since I was a kid because that's the way I was brought up. And so I did my career. I started my career in law, and of course, that's a very fast-paced environment. I was in corporate and financial services, so you can imagine, and also very much a male-dominated world. So for a woman, it's even harder, if you will. And so I was very focused, very career-oriented, and very much going from a deadline to another project. And I've never missed a deadline in my entire career. And at some point, my body decided that was too much because I was putting so much stress, so much tension, and I was always postponing having some relaxed time, some me time, and having breaks, basically. And to be totally honest, my body has started sending me some messages about me. I should have been slowing down a little bit. But of course, stubborn me didn't hear that. So I kept going. And at some point, well, boom, he hit me right here. And what happened is that my immune system got shut. And I ended up at the hospital. And they put me in intensive care basically for 2-3 days, and then they put me off work. When they discharged me, they put me off work for a month, of course, because I needed to recharge all my batteries. And that was the catalytic event for me to start asking myself questions like, well, first of all, why is this happening? Has this happened to me? I mean, I don't get sick. I never get sick. So what's going on? What's wrong with my body? Well, actually, nothing was wrong with my body. That was not the problem. And then also I started asking questions about, is this what I really want? What is that I really want? And who I am? Because until then, I had very much identified myself with my job, with my role in the company I was working with my role in society, with me giving presentation and speaking on stage as one of the top lawyers, with me giving the go ahead or say no, this transaction is too risky. When the CEO was coming to me and for sign off on some big kind of multiple figures kind of operation. So until then, I really haven't identified myself with that. But now that I was off work, who was I? And so that triggered a lot of study on my part, because of course I'm always been very curious, intellectually very curious. And that was the opportunity for me to start exploring some things really different that I never thought about. And so I started getting into meditation, mindfulness, EFT, acupuncture, all these kind of things. And I came across also neuroplasticity, neuroscience, neurolinguistics, and I found those very fascinating, as you can imagine. And I always had, even when I was a kid, in me, this, I would say, this impetus, this proportion to help others and empower them. And I've always been very much seeing injustice, seeing people being treated not fairly, always had me a sort of, when your stomach goes like that, and a sort of internal rebellion. So I never could bear that. And I always wanted to empower people to do that. And so I started thinking, okay, maybe this is something that can take me to somewhere else, to do something even better for others than being just a lawyer. And so, first of all, of course, I studied. I mean, I'm still studying. I mean, I study every day, because we are I consider myself always on the journey. So, first of all, I used all that I was studying to put myself together, to rebuild myself from the inside out. And then I started building a business, something, so that I can help others and leave my legacy, but really help people, support people, women, men, entrepreneurs, professionals, everybody, to claim their power back, because we are powerful beings, we are powerful creators. We need to acknowledge that, and we need to claim that power back.
Very beautiful. So it's shown you something about how the challenge in life actually can bring even more to who you are, who you will serve, and who you will become in the future. And I think that's such a powerful message, because my introduction here was to actually ask you exactly that. What was one of the biggest challenges you've had in your life, and what did it teach you? So I can hear already what you've been taught and what you're capable of teaching others then. If we look back at the young Marina that we said had such strong impetus, and I love that you shared that with us, and that word is such a powerful word. And she was this young child really not comfortable with injustice and wanting to really help others. Knowing what you know now about life and about even that catalyzing moment and where you've ended up and what you've learned subsequently, what kind of advice would you give her, your 8-year-old little girl?
I would tell her, speak up more and don't let other people to shut you down.
Yeah.
basically.
Oh, love it.
Because you see, the thing is that as a woman, as a woman from a Mediterranean country, as you know, I was born in the south of Italy, and even though I'm not super old yet, but even in those days when I was a kid, there was still, and somehow, and in some places, it's still there, this culture that because you are a girl, because you are a little girl, because you are a woman, you are supposed to keep your head down. You are supposed not to show up. You are supposed not to stand in your light. You are supposed to stay silent and suffer in silence.
Yeah. And that's my next question. Do you think there's a beautiful quality of being what we call foresighted, but even perspicacious, preempting what's coming? So beautiful in our talk together. And we had that even before we started recording, that we're tuning in layers from here without realizing it, and here they are coming to make it clearer even how much we synchronize together. We have this question about looking at women in general. Would you say that that is something that women in general believe? Or if I was to ask you the full question, what do you think is the biggest lie that women do believe, and what is the truth?
Well, first of all, I have my own concept of truth, because truth is not something objective. Truth is highly subjective. My own truth is different to your own truth, and your own truth is different to somebody else's truth, and so on and so on, because truth is how we perceive, first of all, ourselves, and then others, and what happens around us, how we perceive, how we incorporate that, how we embody that, and how we respond to that. And also our own truth is about who we really are, and what we want. And until we don't have clarity about that, we don't know our own truth. And that's a journey. That's a journey. It's a process. And we need to be okay with that. We need to be okay with the fact that it's a process. We need to be okay with the fact that certain things cannot change from one day to another, but you have to allow time to, for you to, let's say, catch up with that, and for you absorb all that you need to absorb, and to let that transform yourself, because it's about transformation. It's not about information. I mean, there's always, especially a while ago, there was a say that it was very, very much trendy, very much on vogue, and it was like, information is power, knowledge is power. Yeah, of course, information, knowledge, it is very important, and certainly it's powerful, and it's the first step. But that's not the most powerful, because transformation is the real power. And transformation is implementation of knowledge, implementation of information, embodiment of knowledge, and embodiment of information.
Preach it, Dr. Marina Bruni. So beautiful. So this embodied wisdom that you talk about is so important for Women of Truth, and it's a beautiful pathway to have you talk about subjective truth and the power of having to transform through what you know, what you learn, applying that, and then being able to actually experience something new and different through your own embodiment and your own experience of life, that you can actually change and become really new and different in the way you perceive and experience life through the transformation. Such a powerful explanation there. So do you think there is a collective myth that women buy into, even so, or not? Do you think it's all personally processed by each one of us?
I think it's a combination of both.
Mm-hmm.
Because, of course, it is personally processed. how and at what speed and with what depth, it depends on each one of us. It depends on where we are with that journey, where we are in life, and etc. But certainly the collective has got an influence of that, because the thing is that until you master your own true power, until you are not afraid to show up in your own truth, in your own light, you will always want to fit in. And as long as you fit in, you're not gonna speak out. You're not gonna release your light. You're not gonna release your gift, because you live in fear. And when you live in fear, fear is separation. As long as you live in fear, as long as you live in separation, you live away from the matrix of love. And the matrix of love is the energy of creation. And that's the vibration. That's the vibration that when you embody that vibration, you embody your full power, because that's the vibration of creation.
I hope you have that written somewhere. The matrix of love is the energy of vibration. That's such a beautiful collection of words. I'm going to put it on the box so that people can read it when they read about this interview we've done together. We've seen so many things happening in the world for so many years, centuries of, let's say, efforts to bring the feminine into some kind of alignment with the masculine, and through patriarchy, so many different things have been revealed to us, and we see many trying to transform that through feminism, women's movements, women organizations. And my next question is really about that. I would like to know from you, what do you think about this women's movement? And is there anything you would add to that, or anything you would say about it that we can gather from you as your wisdom?
Thank you for your question. It's a great question. Okay, first of all, I want to acknowledge and I want to honor all these women's movement, because they are all bringing awareness. They're all bringing some consciousness to this theme, an issue, because at some level it's an issue. And I share the spirit of that. I have to say that sometimes some movements are a bit extreme to me, because the way I see this, it's not, I don't like contraposition. So I don't like the concept of feminine against masculine energy. I don't like the concept of feminism as opposed to a male-dominated world, or that type of concept. Because to me, it's all about collaboration and integration. And that's also comes from the spirit of also ancient philosophy. I mean, yin and yang. What's yin and yang? Yin and yang are the two elements of creation, masculine and feminine. And so we are meant to collaborate. Now, all this raising awareness about inequalities and all gender inequalities, and also with special quotes for females in the boardroom and things like that. I appreciate the effort, but that's not the point, because feminine and masculine are two different concepts. So as long as we insist in bringing the feminine into the masculine as it is, without changing the foundational paradigm, nothing's going to change. And that's absolutely pointless, because it's two different concepts, it's two different energy, it's two different approaches, and they need to work together, not that one needs to be brought into the other one and see what happens according to the old rules, the old paradigms, and so on.
So much agree with you. I think it's a very distinct message to share that collaboration, integration more and more out there. And I've seen a lot of the groups understanding a little bit more about this complementing. that needs to happen. And I also believe there's a wisdom to helping the paradigm expand and transform to actually begin this kind of collaborative cooperation. And yeah, we're in very interesting times as we have this interview even. So let's see how it's all unfolding. I would love to know a little bit more about what you're most passionate about now in your life, and how people can actually find you and follow you and work with you in whatever distinct way you would like to serve them.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for asking. The thing I'm most passionate in is empowering people and have them start their own journey so that they can get back into their full power, and they can become the powerful creator that they really are. And that way, and it's an inside job, because it is an inside job. You cannot create what you are not, because creation is an extension of who we are. And that's the base that I use for all my students. And actually, I will very gladly gift all your audience with my guide about how to start. It's a guide with very powerful steps on how to start your day, because everything starts from the beginning. Everything starts in the mind, and everything starts with the beginning of your day. So feel free to go to my website, www.marinabruni.com, and download my guide, my free guide for you, and start implementing that. That's a very first step, and it's very powerful. And it's all about transformation, as I said, because when you start transforming yourself, typically the three signature things that everybody who's working with me gets since, and the results are immediate, is achieve more with better result in less time, which we all want. But as I said, it's not something that we can get from the outside. It's something that we have to create. And we need to start understanding that, because only by understanding that and claiming back our own responsibility, we will be able to claim back our own power.
Always so important to talk more about power and how we distribute the outside world with the responsibility to make us happy versus how much we really cultivate inside of us. So I'm very much supporting that message of how much inner work we need to keep doing in order to keep ourselves aligned with what it is that we say we want, because really it's a complicated process that can be done very easily, but I think people complicate it more by assuming that it's going to come from outside, when in fact it's a simple understanding that there's a connection between outside and inside. And once you really work with someone that can help you do that, it's very, very powerful work to just know and understand how powerful you really are. So we have a tradition in the Woman of Truth interviews, Dr. Marina Bruni. We have 3 words from all our guests that represent pieces of wisdom or a message that goes out to the woman watching. And often I say to the women that aren't watching even. So they become like prayer words or guiding words or power statement words. It can be one statement of 3 words or 3 separate words that help us remember your wisdom. For you, what would they be?
You are a powerful creator. Remember that. Never forget it.
Beautiful. Powerful creator. So to everyone watching, this was Dr. Marina Bruni. You can find her on her website. That's www.marinabruni.com. And you heard about that great free guide that you can go and download, which actually helps you start your day and gets you into this very strong awareness about how you are a powerful creator. And of course, to everybody who is out there that knows about that already, this is an opportunity for you to go even deeper and to begin to see how you would be using this power in the times that we are now facing. How can you create right now and get the support you need from one of our experts You see, Dr. Marina Bruni has these very powerful ways of assisting you to reconnect with that brilliance inside, and perhaps start finding the ways to use it to help others that haven't connected yet either. So thank you so much, Dr. Marina. It's been lovely having you, and we wish you the best with all your projects and to this great new project that you're busy with, where thoughts become things. We will also be sharing that for others to have a chance to access that great piece of work that so many interesting teachers have been involved with. So thank you so much for sharing your gift, and also we'll put the link for that up as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. It's been amazing. Absolutely. Thank you.
Lovely. Thanks, everybody. Take care. Bye-bye.